So I decided to go back home for Christmas. It's been about 10 years since I've been home, and things have changed a little bit. Now, the weather is really nice this time of year, and I haven't been home for the holidays for quite a long time. So it was nice to have a traditional family Christmas with lefse, lutefisk, and we even thought we'd try some local food. But there are people online who say that Christians should not celebrate Christmas. So I went to a local pastor and asked her if it was okay to put a Christmas tree in my house. And she said, yeah, of course. We need to worship Asherah every year at the winter solstice, just like our pagan ancestors used to do. And so I went to the Christmas tree store, but they were totally sold out. So I just got a totem pole instead. And we all bowed down and worshiped it. And she gave a very nice sermon about the importance of Taylor Swift. And so after church, we went to the Vikings game, where they held a Masonic ritual at the halftime. On the way back to my seat, I stopped in the bathroom to pick up some tampons for my niece. She was engaged to a man named Omar. He works in the child care industry. He seems to be doing quite well. He's driving a new Lamborghini. Now, one thing I noticed had changed is that Minnesota had a new flag. And then I started to wonder if I was in the right place. Had my plane landed in the wrong city? Or even the wrong country? Or even the wrong continent? Or did we suddenly let in a bunch of refugees that have changed the landscape and culture of my home state? Everything had changed. I didn't know where I was anymore. I was a stranger in my hometown. So I did what anyone from Minnesota would do. I went ice fishing. However, when we got to the lake, I realized I needed a fishing license. So we went to the DNR office, and then they asked me for a driver's license, and my license had expired, so I couldn't get a fishing license. And I said, I just want to go ice fishing like I used to do when I was a child. And then she said I needed a real ID. And I said, well, it is a real ID, but it's expired. And she said, no, you need a new real ID that will track and trace your every movement and your injection status. And I said, oh, no thanks. But I went ice fishing anyway, thinking that no one would catch me. But sure enough, the ICE agents showed up, and I had to make a quick getaway. Now, I was still craving to relive my childhood, so we went to a hockey game, and that was nice. And the next day, I decided to go to Paisley Park Studios to pay my respects to Prince, who recently died again. And then after a day of enjoying the nice weather, we finally got back home and decided to kick back and watch some TV. So we watched the most popular television show in history, which was about abducting children and turning them into homosexual superheroes. But it was nice to see everybody, and in some ways things haven't changed. And on the way back, I stopped in Las Vegas to do some gambling with my grandma. We watched a boxing match, and then we looked outside, and there were some strange things happening in the sky. I thought maybe my drink had been spiked, that I was hallucinating, but everyone else seemed to be seeing the same things. The same lights in the sky. And I finally got back home, and there were more strange lights in the sky. I don't really know what's going on in this world anymore. I don't know where I belong or where to go. It seems like I have no home anymore. I ain't got no home, just a roaming round, just a wandering worker, go from town to town. Police make it hard wherever I may go. I ain't got no home in this world anymore. Now as I look around, it's mighty plain to see this world is such a great and funny place. The gambling man is rich and the working man is poor. I ain't got no home in this world anymore.
Hey, what's up, my brothers and sisters? It's Mike Malone, Watchman44, bringing you a new edition of Revelations with Watchman44. It's probably been almost about 2 weeks since I've posted a video. Even this morning, I got up with the intent just to check in and do something, And I know that I haven't been able to really build out anything on YouTube, and here my subscribers have gotten lower and lower. So, I'm trying to see if the Lord wants me to go in a different direction. I know that I have to keep up my websites just as a resource for anybody that's looking for it, because it's all there. My Revelations page, the content that I share, and again, as I said, iron sharpens iron. I'm just we're all conduits. We're all little parts of the body of Christ, with Him being the head. And as we, the harvest is plenty, the labors are few, and we're trying to get as many people on board. And times, who knows how much more. So today, I had planned on doing the video, and I got up, and then when I saw that Trump authorized the taking down of Maduro, I said, I figured most people, I'm not talking about probably the people that watch this. I assume that people are awake when they're watching this. I don't know how many new people that I would get that have no clue about anything to watch this, but you just know that most of the masses are sucked into that right now, trying to find out what's going on. So, but as I was trying to, see what other brothers and watchmen were sharing, when I didn't see much there, and I had a little bit of time this afternoon, so I said, let me jump on and just go over some contents and different things. There are a lot of things you probably might have seen over this last week and a half. It's not a lot of content, but some things, just always trying to piece the puzzle together, just like every other watchman. So, again, iron sharpens iron. We're all figuring this out together. But so many, revelations and so many prophecies are coming alive now in these times. That's it was meant to be this way. So many things are able to be discovered now. I shared with one of my son's teammates' fathers just the other day. He sent me a video, and I was trying to, because I've shared other things with him, so I'm sure he's receptive to most of this stuff. But I wanted him to check out my Revelations page and just go there. I mean, listen, once you're in there, you see everything. The veil's completely removed. You will fully understand when Jesus said that even though they will have eyes to see, they will not see, and ears to hear, they will not hear. And then He cures your blindness, cures your being able to hear again, and truly hear, spiritually hear, and hear everything. So, it's as I would say, it's tough. It's a blessing and it's a burden to have the vision and the eyesight that we have. I'm assuming anybody that's a regular subscriber of mine, you've looked at all this content that I've put together over the last few years, and that you are awake to. And if anything, at minimum, I hope that I've directed you towards other brothers and sisters in Christ with the content they share. And again, that's all you're hoping to do, is just lead people to the truth. And in so much deception that is overtaking our world right now, it's hard to keep track. With this this bombing that took place, I'm just like, I was just trying to think, like, it's like you can't, like I said, I'm someone that's dialed into this, and I'm always trying to stay in tune to all this stuff. It's like you can't even keep track. And I mentioned to my wife there, it's funny because Marina Abramovich, the high-ranking Satanist witch, when she said in those couple interviews there that that her shaman told her that Trump being elected's a great thing, and she said, why is that? And it's because he's so crazy. And when you think about it, like I said, even Watchman, we can't keep up now, and he's moving so crazy. I mean, within less than a year, it's, a couple of weeks, it'll be a full year, but in less than a year, if you think about how just insane everything's been, Operation Stargate, they're going to make custom vaccines, RFK saying we're be wearing wearable technologies, just like Klaus Schwab said. So right and left, there's no difference. They're all on the same team, and I'll continue to prove that even through today's broadcast. He's going to take over Greenland, the Gulf of America. I mean, it's just been so dizzying to keep up, but we do our best and try to do that. So, without further ado, I wanted to. I started, so I always like to say, so that content I shared to start there, I had a little laugh at the way he did that and sang that song at the end. But I mean, it's true for anybody who's awake and sees. But his channel name is MRETV. So it's like Mr. ETV. So it's MRETV. That was a little video he did, and I just got a good laugh. I said, I'll start my next video with that. So I'm going to share some. I'm going to share some videos. I'm going to try to tie some things in. So this is on Shaking My Head Productions. Like I said, I watch a lot of his content on a regular basis, and I'm going to let me see if I can come in here. So I'm going to put this on. I'll stop talking for a sec. I'll probably just edit this a little bit so I can get there. I'm going to close my window for a sec too, and I'll come back to you. All right, here we go. Okay, so a little while back, I saw Shaking My Head Productions. Like I said, I share his content a lot. He's just so gifted with the way he puts things together, especially with the predictive programming and movies and everything. I mean, truly, the Lord works with him in very good ways. So his content, like I said, I enjoy just as dark as everything is that we see. There's almost an entertainment point to it. It keeps your, like I said, there's not much that I enjoy watching anymore in this world. But like I said, I like the way he does his content. So anyway, when you saw that little horn, I just thought I'd play this clip here. So let me minimize this real quick. And I'm going to play this clip here real quick. So let me rewind this a hair. So actually, let me just go back to right here. So I'm going to play this clip here. This is from the Antichrist Unveiled Warrior for Christ channel. This was some of Jonathan Kleck's content. So let me just play this here, and we'll come in and read some scripture with it.
Over the West. Let us consider everything we're looking at and consider it well before we move on to the conclusion.
My name is Barack Obama. My mother was born in Kansas. My father was born in Kenya. And I was born, of course, in Hawaii.
Okay. Now, if we go back to that picture of the horn, let's go back there. So there's the horn, Kenya. That's where his father was born. He said that's where he was born. And Indonesia, like I said, that's where he was raised with the cult of Subud. So if anyone's looking at, again, that's all in here, and the information I've shared in the past. But let's look at the little horn. Bible verses related to the little horn. Daniel. Chapter 7, verse 8, while I was contemplating the horn, suddenly another horn, a little one, okay, little one, came up among them, and 3 of the first horns were uprooted before it. This horn had eyes like those of a man, and the mouth that spoke words of arrogance. Daniel 25, this verse describes the little horn as one that will speak against the Most High and oppress his holy people. Daniel 7, 26 through 27, these verses indicate that the little horn will be destroyed by the return of Christ. So the Antichrist will be returned by that. The little horn is often associated with the beast in Revelation, which also has significant prophetic implications. So there's that little horn. So when we look at, how Islam is the roots, in some of the other videos I did. If Abraham being the father of Ishmael, the father of the Muslim Arabic world, Ishmael, and then Isaac being the father of the Hebrew world. But if we were to take a step back from that, where does the blood, the spirit is in the blood, but where does that spirit come through? Well, that goes back to Hagar, the mother that Abraham went into when Sarai couldn't conceive. And she did, obviously, later the Lord gave her Isaac. So that all goes back to Egypt, goes to the pyramids, goes back to this serpent race that we're dealing with. And again, the spirit is in the blood. The spirit of those, the spirit in the prince of the power of the air, the spirit that works in the children of disobedience. Well, that's all the people that are on the world stage right now. So if we look at that, so I wanted to fast forward here. So, I felt my spirit telling me to look up this verse here when they will, and all will worship it all. So actually, let me just read it here first, and I'll come back to it. Hold on. I'll go to KJV first, and we're just going to read this together. They'll do New King James Version. And he was given a mouth speaking great things and blasphemies, as he was given authority to continue for 42 months. Then he opened his mouth in blasphemy against God, to blaspheme his name, his tabernacle, and those who dwell in heaven. It was granted to him to make war with the saints and to overcome them. Authority was given over him over a tribe, tongue, and a nation. All who dwell on the earth will worship him, whose names have not been written in the book of life of the Lamb slain from the foundation of the world. So I'm going to go back here. So 7 is granted him to make war with the saints. He would overcome them, right? Overcome them. So I want to go back there. Now I'm going to go to the interlinear, and we'll look at this. So let me go to 7. Stand upon the 4 corners of the earth. Oh, I'm sorry. I jumped to chapter 17. Chapter 13. and then Revelation 7. That's what I was looking here. Make war with the saints and overcome them. So let's look at the Strong's Concordance for overcome for a moment. Overcome, subdue, literally or figuratively. Conquer, overcome, prevail, get the victory, overcome, conquering, overcome. So carry off victory, come off victorious. So that's that there. Let me hit the back arrow. And I'm going to move forward to verse 8. So it's chapter 13, verse 8. And will worship. So we're going to go there. So I want to go over this. This is key here for this. So worship, bow down before, bow down, probable, fall down, crouch down, fall face down, prostrate in adoration, physical act of lowering oneself in humble submission with an attitude of utmost adoration or respect. And they will marvel at the beast. That's what the book of Revelation says. They will marvel at the beast. And this comes to adoration. Marvel at the beast, adoration. So, but again, they're going to be overcome. They're not going to have a choice, because what does Islam mean? Let's look this up real quick. Islam, I'll just put in meaning, submission, just so I can pull up the thing. Fundamentally, it means submission or surrender to the will of Allah. So again, that's the will of Satan. So when we look up this, so we look up the definition of prostrate. So again, we're here prostrate, right? Prostrate. If you look at prostrate meaning lying stretched out on the ground with one's face downward. Interestingly, when I looked up prostrate, this picture came up. So this was a little white boy, and he was down begging, like he'd be praying to Allah. To me, that's what I saw that. So as this is all taking place, it seems pretty evident this is where we're headed. So anyway, I wanted to share that. Now I wanted to go, Jonathan Kleck shared this. This was content from Keir Starmer. Now again, Islam's taken over the UK, it's taken over Ireland, it's taken over France, it's taking over Italy. It's only a matter of time before it takes over here. We're just waiting for the right events to put us into a state of chaos, because they bring order out of chaos. But let's listen to this guy's commentary here for a moment, and then we'll, let me go back just a hair. All right, here we go.
Here's that clip.
So Keir Starmer goes and makes a tweet. I'm delighted that Allah El Fattah is back in the UK and has been reunited with his loved ones, who must be feeling profound relief. I want to pay tribute to Allah's family. They have worked and campaigned for this moment. Allah's case has been a top priority for my government since we came to office. I'm grateful for President Sisi for his decision to grant the pardon. So this is some comments that this has made. This is from Allah. Dear international PhD student, by the way, I'm a racist. I don't like white people, so piss off. I fucking hate white people. A blight on the earth they are. Good thing they are stopping breeding. We need to kill more of them. Don't worry, where we are discussing we will take over your town and rape your women. Us terrorists tend to do that. The brilliant British dogs and monkeys think terrorists will reveal their plans on Twitter. There's one of them doing it right now. I'm telling you that I hate white people. Amazing that they've let this happen. The most treacherous government in history. They are siding with and importing people into your country that want to fucking kill you. And they're celebrating it on Twitter.
Just for context, this isn't a comedian making a funny, edgy tweet when he was a teenager. This is a 44-year-old software developer born in Egypt who was imprisoned for his political activism and who was granted UK citizenship in 2022 while in prison. People across the political spectrum are understandably freaking out, trying to figure out how the government would allow this after those tweets.
But I'll switch to something else. Advocating killing police, hating white people, assassination plot. Oh, we got even more of these. So this is the person that the British government is going and congratulating itself for. I'm delighted that this person has arrived in the UK and is with his family. His case has been a top priority for the government. They are importing people into your country that want to kill you. These people are evil. They are evil. Suicidal empathy at its peak. If I said what I wanted to say, I would get banned. So I will just agree with you. So, yes.
Okay, and now the next clip
so
I'd
I
like
just
to
want to share that because it kind of goes with the whole theme of where I'm starting out with. Isaiah chapter 5, verse 20. Woe unto them that call evil good and good evil, that put darkness for light and light for darkness, that put bitter for sweet and sweet for bitter. I think we're here. Don't you all agree? And then, so Zoran Mandami, who was elected, sworn in on the Quran. So as I was saying to my wife, I mean, when you see all these things happening, you see the love of many growing cold. That unfortunately the mad conservatives that don't know Scripture at all, which I was one, guilty as charged. But like they said, the fact is they themselves have cognitive dissonance. They're entrapped. They won't even consider looking at information like the few people like myself that are out there that show both sides of the chessboard. So as you can see, perfect example of it. I'm starting out with Obama. I will shift to stuff with Trump as well. But just wanted to go over all that, setting the stage there. So, it's pretty clear to see where we're headed. So let me pull up my X account. I'll go through some of the news stuff I've had on my feed, and then we'll just do that. So here he is. Let's listen to Trump talking about what they're going to do with the oil now that they've done this. Here we go.
As everyone knows, the oil business in Venezuela has been a bust, a total bust, for a long period of time. They were pumping almost nothing by comparison to what they could have been pumping and what could have taken place. We're going to have our very large United States oil companies, the biggest anywhere in the world, go in, spend billions of dollars, fix the badly broken infrastructure, the oil infrastructure, and start making money for the country. And as everyone knows, the oil business in Venezuela has been a bust, a total bust, for a long period of time. They were pumping almost nothing by comparison.
Okay, sorry about that. I didn't realize it was on loop. This guy, I've shared his content before from Twitter. His channel name is Sir Escanar Hopium Slayer. And he's one that shows everything, both sides of the chessboard. So he shared here, Nobel Peace Prize winner and Venezuela opposition leader Maria Corona Machado. Did you know she's Jewish? I tried looking up to see if that was there. I couldn't find anything confirming that, but the rest I did. Yale, congratulates lodges, World Economic Forum, all you need to know. So anyway, here, let's see what this is, where maybe it does say that. Name of family Machado, which appears to have immigrated America from Lisbon. The name is met in Mexico and West Indies, very late. 1600 during that trial, Mexicans around. And her father, Antonio Machado, were charged with being Jews. So that's what it says there, but anyway, let me go to what I did. I just did a quick look up on her myself, just see what I could find. And here, right away, I mean, I did start here. She is at the World Economic Forum, so we know she can't be trusted there. Let me go into up here. She was also part of Young Global Leaders. So again, Young Global Leaders, we know what that is, right? Young Global Leaders of the World Economic Forum. Like I said, all these people are on the same thing. Yale, Skull and Bones, that's where all these wicked are. So, Harvard, Yale, not everybody that goes to Harvard and Yale, but these wicked that are part of the World Economic Forum, a lot of times they're all go to these institutions too. So you can have good people that go to any schools and so forth, but these wicked all seem to go to the same universities and so forth. So just worth noting. I did try looking up to see what her faith was, and I think I saw something. Was raised in a conservative Catholic family. She attended private schools in Venezuela, later studied boarding schools in the United States and Europe. So anyway, saying Catholic, and again, most of the Catholic Church has no idea that the Vatican is a serpent, but there we are nonetheless. So I'm just going to go back to my X feed. I'll share some things that I've seen through X, and then I'll jump into a couple of posts on Telegram, then we'll wrap this up. I don't need to go too long today. I'm already at 26 minutes. This guy here, Special Agent in charge of North Carolina FBI, James Bernacle. If your child, relative, friend, or neighbor is sliding into dangerous ideology, you'll be the first to see it, and together we can stop it. So it's about reporting, your neighbors and so forth. So remember, this guy, when he spoke this, he was talking about, people that have ties to Islam and so forth. But remember, we're right now in the phase of, it's back and forth. So each side implements the beast system and so forth. So right now we're going hard right. But when these laws and everything is implemented, all the other things that they're doing, when it swings hard left, well, if you're someone that's a Bible-believing Christian, your neighbors who are against you will better report you, and it'll go that way too. So they're both setting up the mechanisms. It's just a game. Again, they play both sides of the chessboard. So I don't need to play the clip. If you want to look that up, you can always go to my my Twitter feed and pull it up. Here, Here's Erica Kirk, stage 6 of grief, tossing merchandise.
5 stages of grief: denial, anger, bargaining, depression, and acceptance. 5 stages.
I mean, a lot of people do question like her, and they're questioning whether Israel is involved with it and so forth. But remember, Israel, the Rothschilds and so forth, they are the synagogue of Satan, which ironically, none of the people in the alt-right media ever want to discuss the synagogue of Satan. Jews who say they are Jews and are not, but do lie. They never want to cover that conveniently enough, but only the people like myself that show both sides of the chessboards do. Here, I saw this just the other day. Trump confirms construction of the Triumphal Arch to start this year. And when he was in the office, which I shared, when this was first coming about, again, these are the demonic arches that they have in New York and, through Hitler and everything. But he pointed, it's being built for me. And they see, who that is, right? Lady Liberty. So again, that's their god, Lucifer, Statue of Liberty. So here's this clip here. This is Israeli cybersecurity billionaire Kramer says it's time to limit the First Amendment. Let's listen to what he has to say.
I know it's difficult to hear, but it's time to limit the First Amendment in order to protect it, and quickly before it's too late.
What do you mean?
I mean that we need to control the platforms, all the social platforms. We need to stack rank the authenticity of every person that expresses themselves online, and take control over what they are saying based on that ranking.
The government.
The government should
control the social media.
Yeah, I know it's difficult to hear, but it's time.
What could go wrong? This here, I'll just open up. I'm not going to play, but this is a really good presentation, just like what we're thinking
And
in the new year. This is his channel is called Truth
and
Unedited.
my fellow.
Pause, sorry. So it's Truth Unedited. This latest video he did is, are you ready for major change in 2026? The most important agenda in 2025 that most people missed. So this was a 1-hour presentation, but it was really good. He hit on a lot of things, just compiling everything and summarizing it of where we're headed. So, I would encourage that video. There's that. Let me just get through here. Sworn in the Bible. As I said, it's just a matter of time before we're judged. So here we go.
God's plan for the first Christmas was to trust shepherds, night workers, outsiders, people the world didn't take seriously. Then if God were planning the birth of Jesus today, I'm pretty sure drag queens might be involved too. Today is one of our drag Sundays, not as a spectacle, but as faith in embodied joy. We believe.
Good morning. My name is Kenny Von Sparkle, a.k.a. Christopher Leopard. I use the pronouns he, she, and they. Please join me responsibly in a call to worship.
One might say drag artists are the shepherds of 2025. And if God were announcing the birth of the Christ child today, it might very well be to drag queens in a Waffle House after a performance. Drag is storytelling through the body. It is truth wrapped in excess and vulnerability. It is joy that refuses to apologize for surviving. And joy in the gospel is never neutral. Joy is disruptive. Joy exposes where fear is trying to control. Joy tells the truth that power cannot silence. That's why Herod panics. Not because a baby has power yet, but because joy has a way of growing. Because embodied truth spreads. Because once people see that God shows up in unexpected bodies, they start to question who they've been told not to trust. So when...
All right, you get the idea. Here, this is something, so, I think, when you see certain things happen, what are they trying to distract you from? So other brothers and sisters and watchmen and so forth were sharing this content. But this is this guy here. While we were endlessly distracted with this 3-ring sideshow circus of freaks, Trump solidified our digital enslavement into the beast system via 6G. Let me play this sister sharing this here. If you hadn't seen this yet. I think this should be one of the hot topics everybody should be talking about. Actually, today they should still be talking it more than the Venezuela coup.
While everyone has been paying attention to this circus, our president has signed into law the National Defense Authorization Act. And for those of you wondering the significance of this, it was a critical step in ensuring that we win the 6G race, whatever that means. The technology that, I quote, will play a pivotal role in the development of things like artificial intelligence, robotics, and implantable technologies. And of course, also under the guise of national security and public safety. So as you guys were watching these clowns at America Fest, which just so happened began on December 18th, Trump was signing this act into law. And if you don't feel like Googling, here it is. Are you starting to understand what's happening now? While everyone has been paying attention to
implantable technologies, what more do we need to see? Now, my last two videos, I was going over to alien deception, the egg, Ashtaroth, the egg, the rebirth, Lady Gaga, race within the race of humanity. Again, this is all for my content. Anybody can see this. This is what the Watchmen of our time and all the mysteries that are being revealed to the church. This guy was on this channel redacted, so I don't really trust this guy. As he said, Tucker Carlson's a close friend of the show, and Tucker Carlson's a snake. But here, I'll play just the first minute to see if he talks about this. If not, I'll just read the part I wanted to say.
But the one thing that I really wanted to talk about was the moon base. And I've heard from whistleblowers, U.S. Air Force whistleblowers, who've been transported to the moon base. And I don't know, I know you can tell me, I think there are multiple moon bases from what I understand.
Yeah, there is multiple moon bases. There is an arc on the moon as well.
Underground?
Underground. I think it is visible.
It is visible?
Yeah, I think.
Is it on the dark side?
It is in between. I think.
Do we know where on the moon?
We do know where. And I think
maybe you could, do you have any idea specifically, like, if I'm looking at the moon? Because
All right, I didn't have to be the first portion, but he said, an Army whistleblower just alleged that he visited a secret civilization on the moon. He said they travel in an egg-shaped UFO. So again, that's what are these people talking about? We're getting back to that egg-shaped UFO. So that's something to keep an eye on. I'm not going to play this clip, but here's somebody here that was sharing a patent from Apple. Recently filed a patent number. Here's the number. The new earbuds described in the patent will allow Apple to read your brainwaves. Earbuds that are designed and patented by Apple to literally read your brainwaves and record your brainwaves. You're not going to believe what these guys have to control with these. So anyway, it's something to check out. I'll read this for you if you want to search it on your own, or come to my Twitter feed and read it, my X feed. US 2023 022 5659A1. Considering I was just covering up for Islam, I want to play this portion of this video real quick. It's a short one.
Is this another miracle of Prophet Muhammad? Is this another miracle of Prophet Muhammad? He said that the human body has 360 joints. But guess what? Scientists only just confirmed that the human body does in fact have exactly 360 joints. How could someone 1400 years ago without modern technology even know this? What do you guys think?
You know what else the Prophet Muhammad said? That it's okay for a 50-year-old man to marry a 6-year-old girl. And he demonstrated that by marrying his third wife, Aisha, when she was 6 years old and he was 53. And he consummated the marriage when she was 9 years old. Except today, we don't call that a miracle. We call that a crime. And then they send you straight to federal prison.
Just remind you what we're dealing with here. She shared this, so this was the turning point here. I saw this too. I thought this was demonic looking in the background.
I pray every day that more and more people will start seeing through the deception. Start seeing that actors don't always need to be in movies. Start seeing that what is being presented with shiny lights and shiny ribbons and shiny bows is really just a package that is full of empty promises and lies from the enemy. Please understand that this is all...
Oh, I'm trying to fast forward, see if I can find the clip where she had... Oh, yeah, here. It looked like...
to be like some form of demonic entity in the middle, and nobody
Pentagon
bats an
that looked
eye
like something
because
demonic.
they don't understand that Satan masquerades as Christian. Look at what the
So anyway, people, oh yeah, he came out putting out the rosary and everything. I mean, total COINTEL, alt-right media hire to deceive people. Then the big Pharma Patriot rebrands. This is the wellness company. Shows you all the people that are part of the wellness company. Oh, we have Donald Trump, James O'Keefe, Jimmy Dorn, Charlie Kirk, Jack Pasibiak, I forget this guy's name, Benny Johnson, General Michael Flynn, Laura. Oh, there we go. Russell Brand, Roseanne. Oh yeah, let me get involved with this company. All Satanists. So the Disclosure movie, June 12th, so that's a 6, and then 12, 6 plus 6, 666. Notice the one-eye symbolism. Does anyone else notice the Amfest logo for Turning Point contains 33 stars instead of 50? Not only that, but it has 3 rows of 6, 666, and 3 rows of 5, 555. 6 is the number of Antichrist, and 555 is the biblical number of death. Why 33 stars? So here's someone again showing you here over the hoax that's the Charlie Kirk, where they got rid of the character, or no, the actor. No, the character's gone. The actor is, I'm sure, alive and well. But let's look at this. I have another clip I want to share too. But let's put this together. It's 2 minutes.
So let me get this straight. Charlie Kirk had no coroner's report, no church funeral, no burial site or grave, no official death certificate. Why has no official autopsy been conducted, nor any findings released? No ballistics report. Not a single eyewitness on the record, and an award-winning widow already taking over his show. Why was the entire crime scene destroyed within hours, erasing vital evidence? They tore down everything, including the Dairy Queen. Why were there no paramedics on the scene? Why was Charlie Kirk's body removed and illegally flown out on Air Force Two? Why did Donald Trump pardon a Navy SEAL killer whose shadow looms over this case? Why was the stadium mysteriously booked by Turning Point 4 months before his death? How was a massive high-tech stadium memorial produced in only 11 days? Why do multiple women publicly appear as Erica Kirk, raising questions of identity? Why are there no birth certificates for their children? No names revealed, no faces ever shown? Where is a video of Charlie playing with his kids at a birthday party, or picnic, or any other family setting? Why do Freemasonic and satanic symbols surround this tragedy with chilling precision? Interesting that the gun was found on property owned by Palantir. Isn't it interesting Kash Patel fired many of the heads of the FBI in that area days before the shooting? Do you find it interesting that Charlie sold his house 8 months ago for $5 million? If the father of your 2 young children was just brutally murdered for the world to see days ago, do you leave them home with the nanny while you go on podcasts grinning from ear to ear? Is it not curious that a 17-year-old first-time Donald Trump beauty pageant contestant won, and now Trump appointed a top attorney general woman who has no experience, who is also in his beauty pageant? This is only a fraction of the clues and evidence on this psyop. For those of you brave enough to look at the evidence while removing the preconceived emotions, the conclusion is undeniable.
So, before I go to more, I want to show this other clip here. So here, bullet. It's so ridiculous. Let me go. And then here's what I wanted to show. When I watched this,
not counting gang violence. Great. Counting or not counting gang violence. Great.
So I want you to go right to here. When I watch this, I call it, like, say, people that are like paying attention will say, "Wait a second, why is this guy here ready to catch him perfectly?" I mean, think if the bullet went off, boom, that quick, and this guy was right there to grab him and bring him down. And remember, they showed the hatch door that was there. I mean, I wonder what happened there. So, see this guy? Look. I mean, come on. I mean, people just don't, like I said, people still think that Trump got his ear shot off. I mean, it's incredible. It's just incredible. So I'll come back here. Digital euro. The European Union moved the digital euro for the ECB forward yesterday on December 24th, 2025, just before Christmas. So these things are all happening before our eyes. Of course, Empire puppet Kier didn't want to miss out the pyramid symbol virtual thing during the Christmas message, complete with spreading misinformation about being the birth of Jesus. And we all know it's the birth of Nimrod. Demons of deception all the time. There he is. They're always throwing their hand symbols up. J.D. Vance walking out to Long Cool Woman in a Black Dress by the Hollies, 1951. You should take a look at the lyrics. Charlie said, I hope that you're able, boy, because I'm telling you she knows where it's at. This is what they decided to play when he was introduced, because it just makes sense. These psychopaths, man, they have some sense of humor, you know. I played this clip here. So this was a clip someone said. During a seemingly routine interview, Professor Sir John Bell, a key figure in the development of the Oxford vaccine, accidentally let slip a jaw-dropping bombshell left the world in disbelief. Caught off guard, Bell revealed the unthinkable. So here, let's play the portion of this.
And finally, Sir John, the question everybody's asking you, when? When will it be? When can I have one?
Yeah, so as you may have spotted, there's a wide range of views on this subject. I'm hopeful we're going to start to get a readout early in the autumn as to whether this thing works or not. A lot of this depends on the intensity of infection. So in order to get a readout, you have to have a certain number of incident cases in the control vaccine population. And that then tells you that you can look at the real vaccinated population and see whether they've been protected. So I'm hoping that's going to happen pretty smartly this autumn. But then don't forget, these vaccines are unlikely to completely sterilize a population. They're very likely to have an effect which works in a percentage, say 60 or 70%. We'll have to look quite carefully, and the regulators will have to look quite carefully. I'm hoping that's going to happen pretty smartly this autumn. But then don't forget, these vaccines are unlikely to completely sterilize a population. They're very likely to have an effect which works in a percentage, say 60 or 70%. We'll have to look quite carefully, and the regulators will have to look quite carefully to make sure that it's done what we need it to do before it gets approved. So there will be a delay between the outcome of the trial and a decision whether it can be approved as a vaccine. And of course, anything that happens...
Professor Sir John Bell. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you right off like that.
Can I just say that anything that happens to undermine the legitimacy of regulators to make independent decisions is, in my view, profoundly unhelpful.
This guy's like, did he just say that? About not being able to like succeed at sterilization? And here was her talking about the assassin, J.D. Vance. I mean, you just can't make this stuff up. Jared Kushner, again, Trump Gaza. We were drafting a proposal to transform Gaza into a futuristic smart city. That's what it's going to look like, a smart city. And I guess what? You know how they're going to keep everything good? Total surveillance, a prison planet. That's what they're going to do. So let me play this clip here. So Spielberg's warning plot or post-vaccine hybrids. I'll play this clip real quick. Then I'll go to my Telegram, and then we'll wrap this up. I don't have too much on there, so we'll just play this real quick. Human hybrids, German scientists, nuclear backup. Here we go.
In 1947, a spacecraft was reportedly recovered in New Mexico. No doubt you know of this, and of the reported recovery of a body at the site. These incidents coincided with not only the end of World War II, but an ignominious project which brought Nazi scientists and war criminals to this country to exploit their knowledge.
Operation Paperclip.
Yes, you know of it already. And you must also know of the work of Dr. Joseph Mengele, the Nazi angel of death.
Mengele thought that he could produce a super race through genetic engineering.
As did many of his colleagues at the Institute of Hereditary Biology and Racial Hygiene.
Like Victor Klemper?
Well, Victor, he loved his orchids. Did you know that he was able to create some of the most beautiful hybrids?
Klemper was trying to create an alien-human hybrid. That's what I saw in the boxcar. He was using human test subjects.
Mulder, wait.
My father was involved in this?
The technology wasn't there, Mulder. DNA wasn't even identified until 1944. This is all a lie.
When your father realized what the medical data was being used for, he objected strenuously.
He collected those files?
With the threat of nuclear holocaust in the 1950s, the government instructed men like your father to gather genetic data on the general populace for the purposes of post-apocalyptic identification.
The vaccination records. They took tissue from everyone who received a smallpox inoculation.
Hundreds of millions of Americans.
So that Victor Klemper had access to a DNA database of nearly everyone who was born since 1950.
Mulder, this man is telling you everything that you want to hear. But it's a fabrication. It is pure science fiction. There were no experiments with aliens.
Why would I lie to you?
Like you said before, to protect yourself and the continuation of the Nazi agenda. Human tests.
Why was your file there, Scully?
I don't know.
There were current records on file.
Yes, but records of what, Mulder?
Of abductions! Of abductees! Is there more?
More than you'll ever know.
Oh man!
In 1947, a spacecraft.
Stuff so crazy. What else? What else? So yeah, she covered there again. Implantable technologies. There it is from the memorandum. Incredible. And here's this wicked person making that announcement.
Has decided to move ahead on the next and final phase of the preparatory work for the digital euro. The other good news is that on October 23rd, the European Council has asked us and all those involved to accelerate the process so that we can roll out the digital euro as early as possible. This is important because as much as banknotes will continue to circulate, we want cash to be in the form of digital euro as well, so that you can circulate banknotes and click cash with the digital euro. More work is going to be done in the next few months, and if we receive the approval by the European Parliament in the course of 26, we'll be able to pilot the digital euro as of 27. And if the pilot is conclusive and positive, it will be a formal rollout in the whole of Europe in 2029. This is a big project because the euro is our currency, your currency. It brings us together. It's a symbol of trust in our common destiny. So off we go with the digital euro in that next and final phase of the preparation.
Common destiny. My destiny is above. Your destiny is below. Here's just showing it. Black Pride is a movement encouraging people to take pride in being black. Gay Pride or LGBT Pride is positive stance against discrimination and violence toward lesbian there. So it's take pride in it. Asian Pride is a positive stance to being Asian American. White Pride is a slogan primarily used by white separatists, white nationalists, neo-Nazis, white supremacist organizations to signal their racist viewpoints. Again, me, knowing the truth of the host body system, our spiritual boundary, balance, the evil twin, good twin. That's what Christ's purpose was, to make one new man of the two. The body really doesn't make anything. It's the spirit, the soul that's inside. But, I'm sure you've all seen this here. Turning Point USA recreate the moment Charlie Kirk was executed at their convention for people to take selfies with. Anyone find this strange?
And you can see from behind me, this is a recreation of the tent where Charlie Kirk lost his life at Utah University in September, and people are taking selfies with it. You can see.
Absolutely insane. Here's robots in China helped in. Flipping kick. Imagine what these are like. So yeah, that was the last. All right, so let me jump on my Telegram feed. Oh, I did want to read something to you all. Let me open this up real quick. So this was an email I got from YouTube. It said, "Hi, Michael Malone. To keep our community safe, we limit some of our more powerful features to channels who have built and maintained a positive channel history or who have provided verification. As of now, your channel doesn't have sufficient channel history. It has lost access to advanced features. This may have happened because your channel did not follow our community guidelines. I know I've shared Truth, which I've got notifications that is against their community guidelines. It says how it impacts your channel, which I don't think is a problem for me yet, so I don't need these features. The only thing I do here, I'll read in a second. You won't be able to do things like get higher daily limits for live streams, shorts, and video uploads. If I do a video upload, it's just one a day. I really don't do shorts and streams. Embedded live streams, I don't do. Pinned comments, I don't do. Add external links to your video descriptions, I've done that, usually to my Rumble channel and so forth, so I'll do that. How to restore access to the advanced features. To restore access, you can build positive channel history by following our community guidelines. Or provide video or ID verification for quicker access. So the ID stuff and everything, like I said, this is going where it's going to be, where you will not have access to the internet unless you upload your biometric data. It's just a matter of time. So let me minimize my screen. I'll go through a quick glance through my Telegram, and I'll wrap this up. I thought this was funny. You seriously can't make this up. Australia's current Prime Minister, Albanese, exposed himself for using a speech from the Michael Douglas movie. Here we go. Watch this.
In Australia, we have serious challenges to solve, and we need serious people to solve them. I promise. Unfortunately, Tony Abbott is not the least bit interested in fixing anything. He's only interested in two things: making Australians afraid of it and telling them who's to blame for it.
I just think that Michael Douglas was much better at it than Albo.
The world is a stage, and everyone's an actor. And so this was new from X. Don't use your eyes, brain, or logic, like Trump in Butler, Pennsylvania. Violent event denial. If you deny something happened, like Charlie, like Trump, we prohibit content that denies that mass unaliving or other mass casualty events took place where we can verify the event occurred and when the content is shared with abuse of context. So if they can verify, like showing Charlie or Butler, PA. Well, hey, it's true. I mean, it happened. Here's the video proof of it. But don't use the other evidence that shows that it's completely staged. Many of you have seen this. Here's just an example of the Illuminati card game. This is a short clip. I just thought I'd share this. No, what are you talking about? Mike? You're crazy. I keep showing it again. And implantable technologies. There's that. Here's just some clips from Venezuela. Pretty crazy. Oh, here, there's a video going viral of North African migrants in Florence. Italian families are reportedly fleeing. I don't know, everybody. Well, listen, because of that YouTube thing there, I don't know. I mean, again, I'm only obviously a very small audience. If you ever look at the views on these videos that I do, it's not much and it's only declining. So that's why, I know I have to keep my site up there because it's a resource. I'm going to get more of my cards with my website out. I'll hand them out when I can. I'm going to get some chick tracks. My wife and I talked about that, hand them out, and then with my cards, if they want to look at that for something short, go to my site for more information. Just try to spread information. Try to spread the gospel, give people, the warning, do that. These videos, I know time's going to be limited for me, so I'm not going to be able to do as much. I don't really think I'm going to get in too many presentations. I know I said this redundantly that I have to put up my testimony, so perhaps that'll be something I'll try to do together. But as far as presentations, I mean, I don't know. I just don't know what the future holds. I mean, everything's changing so fast. I'll try to check in from time to time, just share my feed, show you what I'm doing, and hopefully we can just keep trying to get the message out and get other people on board and bring them out so they can see both sides of the chessboard. So I hope you appreciate this content. I hope you'll share it with others. As always, thank you. God bless. Always remember Jesus loves you, and so do I. Mike Malone, Watchman44, signing out.